Hello, everyone. Welcome to Court with Krissy. I've got a little bit of everything for you today, from F-bombs to pageant moms. There's even a sleeping stanky in between, but don't worry, he wakes up in time for his case. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
Objection, Ms. Harrison asked you to decline a question.
Okay. Your Honor, let's see here. What is it normal? When do you normally pick up your son, and when do you normally drop them off? Your Honor, I'm sorry. May I have 2 minutes? My phone is about to go dead. Because I've been waiting on morning. May I have just 2 seconds to try to find a charger? I am so sorry.
That's fine.
Thank you. Give me 1 second. I'm so.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. This is very unorthodox, but and I am sorry for to make this request, Your Honor, but I will need about a 30-minute break because I'm actually in the middle. Well, not in the middle, but I have another hearing that I am here in Baldwin County. And they stopped that hearing so that I could jump on to this one. But would it be possible, Your Honor, if we could come back? I should be done in about 30 minutes with that one here.
No, it won't be possible because after that hearing, after this one, then I'm moving into another one. If you have a conflict, you should file a conflict. And then that would have been differently because then we would be mindful. But everybody's thinking you're on Zoom. You can do 2 Zooms at once. You can't. You're going to find yourself caught like this. I can reschedule it.
Yes, Your Honor, then if that's possible. I mean, otherwise, if we could reschedule, otherwise, I mean, I'm more than welcome to come back at the end of the court's calendar, Your Honor.
Yes, I'll reschedule it, but you got to be mindful. Mr. Waller has been here the whole day. He's going to file it for attorney's fees. And I'm going to grant him because he's been here the whole time and you had 2 conflicts and you didn't file for them.
Well, yes, Your Honor. My anticipation was the hearing was going to resolve itself.
That's not a good way of handling. You're on a domestic calendar. You know, domestic calendars are long. You don't know where you're going to fall on it. You can't do 2 domestics at the same time. You file a conflict just to be on the safe side. And if you had told me you had another conflict, then I could work around it. And I wouldn't have stuck you here. I mean, I'm moving things around. I asked for a time announcement at the beginning of the case so that I'll know where to place them. All right. So this one I'll continue it. And it'll be placed on another calendar. Okay. But next time, gotta file for conflicts because everybody's thinking you're on Zoom. They could do 2 of them. And I have this all the time now lately that attorneys are not filing conflicts because they think they can flip from Zoom to Zoom. And at some point you get caught, and it happens more often than you probably realize. So you gotta this is a lesson learned. Okay. Case will be rescheduled. Mr. Waller, file your attorney's fees. All right, I'll take care.
Will do, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Y'all are free to leave.
All right, thank you, Judge.
This bitch, what the fuck? Bitch, you done tripped the fuck out. Hell, fuck no.
Mr. Collier, you're still on.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
There ain't no bond. I don't care about a bond. The bond don't do goddamn thing for me. No bond. I can't bond for this.
Hey.
Well,
Hi.
Chicago.
Hey. Okay, so we're just gonna mute you. Not sure what that was all about. Attorney Chanel, did you have a chance to speak with, I'm assuming that you are Mr. Pelton?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Pelton.
And
No,
Your Honor,
you're my attorney.
Hey, okay. Before you say anything else, you have an attorney. I think you should let her speak for you.
I'll speak for myself.
Are you saying that you don't want to be represented by an attorney for this arraignment?
Why should I? She ain't gonna help me. She ain't down to help me.
I mean, how about you slow your roll a little bit so that we can actually call your case, okay, and see what's going on here. Now, this is case number 15S00004. This is the state of Michigan versus Alan Dwayne Pelton. So,
Assistant Public Defender Sonia Chanat on behalf of Mr. Pelton.
okay, and Mr. Pelton, are you willing to state your name for the court?
I'll help.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, today is the date and time set for an arraignment. What I am seeing is that a bench warrant issued for your arrest way back March 13th of 2015 for your
No, it was 2013.
Okay. I'm looking at the case file right now.
2015, I wasn't even in this state.
Well, that would probably explain why a bench warrant issued for your failure to appear then.
You made me homeless with this dumb shit. All I did was tell my son to cool out. That's it. And I got this and homeless and everything else.
Okay. I have
And
just
got my kids stolen
Hey.
from me.
I don't want to have to mute you, sir. I would like to be able to get through this. Okay.
I've been raged. I got my son stolen from me. I got my life up. Over telling my
Okay. So at this time, did you wish to address bond?
Yes, Your Honor, we stand muted to the charges and regarding bond. I would like the court to note that Mr. Pelton did refuse to speak with me today during his jail visit, so I was unable to advise him regarding this matter. However, I did notice that he does not have any holds at this time. Therefore, I would just be asking the court to set a bond in this matter in another court date. Thank you.
So at this time, he okay. I'm not going to have you unmute right now. I can't have you swearing and disrespecting the court like that. So, given the age of all of this and what's going on, okay. Okay. The court is going to set bond with the following conditions. You are not to use or possess alcohol, marijuana, or illegal drugs. You are to report to community corrections within 24 hours of your release for drug and alcohol testing. You will need $12 and a photo ID. You are not to purchase or possess any firearms, ammunition, or other dangerous weapons. You are not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission. You are not to engage in any sort of criminal activity whatsoever. You are not to have contact with the victim in this case, and when the court says no contact, the court means no in-person contact, no contact through the mail, no contact over the phone, via phone calls, text messages, emails, social media, the internet in any way, shape, or form, or through third parties. And you are not to go to the victim's place of residence. You are to appear for any and all dates set for you by the court. So that includes your next court date, which is going to be July 1st. That will be July 1st, 2024 at 9 a.m. over Zoom before Judge Washington. If you don't have a device that you can use to access Zoom, there is a tablet in the lobby of the 14B District Court that you can use. The 14B District Court is the one in Ypsilanti Township. So it's off of Huron River Drive. You can also talk to the public defender's office. They may be able to help you get access to a device that you can use for Zoom. Prior to your release, you are to be fitted with a GPS tether. That is for tracking purposes only and to ensure your appearance at the next court date. At this time, based on the information within the case file and the age of this since the warrant issued, the court will set a personal recognizance bond in this matter. Okay. If you're able to actually talk to me instead of yelling, I can ask them to unmute you. But I want to be able to talk. Okay. Just wave to them out there and tell them you want to be unmuted. Okay. You can unmute him so we can talk. You're
I'll
not
just sit here.
Okay. So,
I got nobody out there. I don't know a pair of soul.
okay. So, are you trying to suggest it would be your preference to stay in there, or is there something else that you are trying to ask for?
You're asking me to make a big amount? Because that ain't gonna help me.
Okay, sorry, you broke up a little bit there. Can
I
you
said a bond amount is not gonna help me. I'll just sit in here if it's $5.
Okay, so I was setting a personal recognizance bond, so there is no amount.
Oh,
Okay, so you'd be getting out. I did order, however, that you get a GPS tracker prior to release.
well, I get to go with it. Go shopping and pay bills and things and go around town.
Okay, I'm not sure if I'm understanding you.
Do I have to stay in the house with it?
No, but it's to ensure your appearance at the next court date. So if for some
Okay,
reason you
and I
don't
need
show
to
up-
make sure I know how to do this. I don't know where the EXCU courthouse is to do Skype.
Okay, so you don't have to come to Ypsilanti to do the Zoom. Okay, this is why you should probably talk to the public defender's office because they might be able to help you with this. Okay, you can
Wow.
access Zoom and Zoom court from anywhere,
Oh,
so long as you have a device. Now, I did say you're not to leave the state of Michigan without the court's permission.
yeah.
So long as you're in Michigan and you have access to a device with the internet, you can call into court on July 1st.
All right.
Okay, do you have a phone?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, a smartphone or no?
Yeah, a smartphone.
Okay, so you can use Zoom on a smartphone if you have.
I just don't know how to do it.
Well, you can have someone show you. I don't know if they'll do it at the jail, but there's people who can show you how to do it. You can also call into Zoom. There's a.
I don't have a good, easy time with people. People like to say, fuck you, die to me.
Okay, well, okay, so for starters, let's not swear in court.
I
don't
mean,
wanna have
people
to
treat
do that.
me terribly, spit in my face, punch me, hit me, put me off. If I just say, can you please help me? That's the kind of behavior I get.
Okay, well, I'm trying to do what I can right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and I realize there's not a whole lot from here. All right, so I'm glad that we're actually able to talk right now, though. So that's a good start. All right, what I want you to do, Attorney Chenault, can you have somebody reach out to him today?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay, because I suspect that there are resources that the public defender can help you get connected with. Have you worked with community mental health at all?
I don't like them. No, I won't.
Okay,
I don't have a mental health problem.
okay, well, fair enough. The point is more to get you connected with some resources in the community that might be able to help you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you've got your next court date. It's
Yeah.
July 1st. It's over Zoom. You're getting a personal recognizance bond.
Where
You
do I
are-
get paperwork to show me to tell me the dates?
Yeah, you should get paperwork before you leave the jail. Yes. Okay. If for some reason you don't, you've got a smartphone. Okay. You can Google the 14B district court.
All
and
right.
call us. All right.
Yeah.
You can do that if you forget anything or if you have any other issues, you can call the court.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, like I said, you've got a personal recognizance bond, but you're probably going to be in there one more night because you're getting fitted with a GPS tether prior to getting out. And I don't know if you'll be able to do that today. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any questions for me right now?
No, I just don't understand how I even have a warrant for this. All I did
Okay.
was tell a child to knock it off 10 years ago.
Okay. Okay. Well,
And it
and
ruined my life and took my love from my life, my own kid from me and everything.
okay, sir. Obviously, this is very upsetting for you, and I totally understand that. But we're not going into the details of the case right now. Okay, that's not going to help you at this stage. All right. So hopefully this will help you in the long run get this case resolved. Okay, because yeah, like you said, this is from 10 years ago. Okay, so now, if you don't have any other questions for me right now, you've got your next court date. Okay, you can
Yeah.
stand up and tell the jail that you're finished. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. And Attorney Chenault, I believe that concludes our docket. We have to go to civil docket 40.
State of Michigan versus Joshua Stanky, case number 23S00229.
Personally, that's for the people.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Allison Mueller here on behalf of Joshua Steinke.
Mr. Steinke.
Hey, good morning, Your Honor. Afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Steinke. So, I need to arraign you on your new violation. It alleges that you missed drug testing on April 26th, April 30th, had a positive drug test for THC on May 2nd, missed a drug test on May 14th, missed a drug test on May 17th, and failed to provide updated aftercare info following the release from the Sacred Heart program. So those are all violations. At this point in time, sir, you could be sentenced to up to 5 days in the Washington County Jail. Actually, I think this is more than the first violation. Johnson, do you know how many violations? Let me see. I know there was at least one where you did some substantial time. No, I think you did the time up front, so that wasn't a violation.
I'm grabbing this file now, Your Honor. I believe he did the time up front.
Yeah, it was up front. He hasn't had a violation yet. So, sir, you could serve up to 5 days in the Washington County Jail for these violations. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Muller, what would your client like to do?
Yes, Your Honor, I had a chance to speak with Mr. Steinke about the violations. He does not want to contest them, so I believe, will be admitting to the violations. Is that correct, Mr. Steinke?
Yes, that's correct.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about the file will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You may lower your hand. Is it true you missed drug testing on April 26th and April 10th and tested positive for THC on May 2nd?
Yes.
And then you missed test on May 14th and May 17th?
Yes.
And you failed to provide the appropriate updated aftercare info after your release from Sacred Heart. Is that correct?
I'm working on that.
But you haven't provided it yet?
Hasn't came in yet, no.
Thank you. I find that there's no and willing admission to the violation. Are you satisfied, Ms. McDuffie?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Muller?
I'm satisfied as well, Your Honor.
So you must drug test within 24 hours. Failure to test within 24 hours will result in the bench warrant issuing immediately. I'm gonna schedule you to come in on June 27th, 2024 at 11 a.m. in person. So we can determine what your sentence should be. In the meantime, you need to get that assessment over to probation. Before then, you need to drug test as has been ordered and drug test within 24 hours. Do you understand, sir?
So you said coming in person on June 27th, or where do I go?
14B District Court at 7200 South Huron River Drive, sir.
Okay. Trying to think here. Is that gonna be an actual court case, or?
That's going to be your probation violation sentencing, Mr. Steinke. We can discuss it further if you want after court, if you have specific questions about what that means, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Your Honor, and this is directed to Agent Johnson too. I know that we're still waiting on the labs to come back on that EMU police report. But did he actually get a violation for that though, pending those results, or are we're just waiting to get the full results in?
I believe we did violate him on that.
Okay. I will reach back out to them and find out if there's any updates.
I don't see it in the file at least.
I can double check it.
Okay, let's double check that before our next sentencing, okay?
Will do, Your Honor.
Thank you. We'll see you, sir, at your next court date.
Thank you.
Thank you. State of Michigan versus Charles Bartlett, case number 19-00515.
Rachel McDevitt for the people.
Hi, good afternoon.
I will be right back on.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Courtroom 2, who do we have, please?
Position 5, forward.
All right. This is State versus Shedrick Floyd, 24 CR 3479Y, accused of simple battery family violence from January 31st, 2024. Mr. Floyd, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Cook. And I believe this is also his first arrest. Ms. Mokeke, what's the state's recommendation?
Yes, the state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Leah Francis, stay away from the victim's residence, and 1-day anger awareness. Our office did have a chance to speak with the victim, who did confirm that her and the defendant are no longer in a relationship. They do not live together. They share one child, and she is currently pregnant with their second child. She did confirm the events in the warrant and stated this is not the first time the defendant has been violent with her and not the first time the police have been called, but this is the first time he has been arrested for his violence towards her. I've been in contact since this incident, and the defendant has been violent with her still, even after learning that she was pregnant. They just had an altercation on May 31st in Clayton County, where the defendant tried to push her down the stairs. The victim did state she is in fear of the defendant and does not want any contact and does not agree to any third-party transfer of their child.
Does he have any other open cases? I know that you know of. I've been told this is his first arrest.
I did not see anything on his GCIC report. I don't know if the police were called for that altercation that happened on May 31st in Clayton County and if he was arrested or not.
All right. All right, I have Leah Francis. Is there a Leah Francis on Zoom? All right, I have an Ashanti iPhone who's trying to speak up. If you want to unmute and let us know. Yes, ma'am, who are you?
I'm his mom.
All right, and
So-
if you'd like to say something, please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge.
Yes.
All right, yes, ma'am, what would you like to tell us?
This is my son's first offense. On that altercation, they were out Ubering and she began to strike him. So he got out the car.
No. Were you present at the incident?
I picked him up, but I didn't know the police was called.
You're not going to describe the incident if you're not there.
Yes, ma'am, I do understand.
Anything else to add?
She's also came over to my house and she saw me leaving for work, but broke through the window. I asked her, did I need to let her in? So I do believe they do need no contact, but she comes over to our residence. We do not come to hers.
And what is your residence? Is it in Fulton County?
No, we're in Clayton County, ma'am.
Please go to the Clayton County Superior Court if you need some kind of protection from Miss Francis, or you can call the cops and have her criminally trespass from your property if she does not live there.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Cook, anything to add?
Your Honor, there was some kind of altercation on May 31st, and he was picked up by Clayton County. That is relevant for this reason. He does not believe any charge was ever filed. He never went before a judge, but he stayed in Clayton from May 31st till they transferred him here to Fulton. So we do have a 72-hour problem here if there was no charge.
I didn't know that. I don't see anything here that indicates otherwise. So he was arrested where now?
He was arrested May 31st.
Where?
In Clayton County.
So he was arrested for the Clayton County matter?
Well, yes, I guess, but there was no charge filed, and he was told there were just, and he never went before a judge, and he was told that they were waiting for APD to pick him up. Well, I guess they did.
What's the date of this warrant?
The date of this warrant is February 8th, 2024.
Oh, okay. So they probably picked him up because he was wanted then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On the jail screen, I see he was booked for this charge. It looked like he was booked on the 4th at 1:03 p.m.
Right, but what I'm saying is he was sitting in Clayton since May 31st.
Okay. For the Clayton County charge, correct?
Well, no, we don't know.
What position we on? I can give me 2 seconds. I'll let you know.
Position 5. I just need to know whether he was arrested in Clayton on this warrant or something else. And then
Clayton County has a
transported.
public website, so let me just type his name into the system. I can report back in maybe 20 seconds.
All right, Mr. Walker, we'll hold on that. All right, Mr. Floyd, we're going to hold on your case. Next case, please. This is Truman Pageant, case 24 CR 3473A, accused of battery, family violence from May 13th, 2024. Mr. Pageant, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be
me, Your Honor.
Ms. McLeod. Yeah, I'm sorry. Looking for you on our Zoom panels. Okay. I understand this is also a first arrest. So, Mr. Walker, what's your recommendation?
My recommendation is going to be a $2,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim, Mr. Caden Williams, so stay away from the incident location. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Just briefly, law enforcement was dispatched to the incident location where they met with the victim, Mr. Williams. He advised that him and the defendant are in a relationship. They reside together. They were in a verbal disagreement where the defendant struck the victim and also kicked him. He did have a visible bruise on his body. We did make contact with Mr. Williams. I believe Mr. Williams is on the line. He advised that this is not the first time that the defendant has been violent towards him, and he is requesting a no contact along with that stay away. And we can sign for the victim, Mr. Caden Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams, if you'd like to address the court, you need to unmute so I may place you under oath. All right, Mr. Williams, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge? Could you respond? All right, your audio is not connected to the Zoom. All right, while we're waiting, Ms. McLeod. Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, this is my client's first arrest. My client tells me that his ex is retaliating against him because he had to call the police and his ex was arrested. He does not wish any contact either, but he still does have some belongings at the location. So he's requesting at least a one-time police escort back to the location so he can get his belongings, Your Honor. And I would ask the court for a signature bond for my client because he has absolutely no history of any arrests.
I've got an address in Rome, Georgia. Is that where he lives?
That is correct, Your Honor. That is where he will be living.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Williams, did you come through?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Did you so agree to the oath?
Yes, I do.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add to this proceedings?
Yes, Your Honor. So Mr. Pageant and I dated for over a year. During that period, there were at least 10 incidents of him physically attacking me. I have the text messages in my phone for every time that he attacked me just because he didn't like something that I said. I actually showed those to the police officer who came to the house, and he actually had me send those to him. There were numerous text messages where he admitted to having anger issues and saying he needed to control it better.
Well, I would object to this line of testimony. I think this is just a bond hearing. My client doesn't want contact, and he obviously doesn't want contact.
Now, you go ahead and say everything that you want to say. I'm going to ask the witness allowed to testify freely and to address the court.
Why? This is just a bond hearing.
You say everything you want to say.
As long as I can get a word in edgewise, objection overruled. Mr. Williams, you may continue.
Your Honor, and so as I stated, I have numerous text messages where he's apologized and admitted that he attacked me for no
So
reason.
if I issue a bond that requires him to stay away from you and where you live, would that be satisfactory?
I feel like he needs, so during the relationship, there were several attempts to coordinate with his family to have like a mental health evaluation or anger management classes. It never happened. And he does have a history of mental health in the past where he's.
I would object to this line of testimony again. That has nothing to do with bond.
Your Honor, there is one.
No, Mr. Williams, when you hear the word object, you have to stop. Okay. Mr. Walker, do you have a response?
What was the legal basis for the objection? I don't think I heard a speaking objection. Was
Relevance. She's saying his mental health is not relevant.
Okay, we can move past the MH. We can move past the MH.
All right, Mr. Williams, I'm going to sustain the objection without referencing any mental health issues. Anything else that you'd like to contribute?
Yes, there was an incident that I just want to make the court aware of, where we were having a disagreement in the car. This was back in October, and he became upset, and we were going like 50 miles an hour up a 2-lane road in Roswell, and he became upset and tried to open the door, but it was a Tesla rental, so of course the door is not going to open. He told me to unlock the doors, and I said, I'm not going to unlock the doors for you to hop out while the car is going 50 miles an hour. So he grabbed the steering wheel, took us over a curb, through a fence, and into a tree, where we luckily walked away without any serious injuries. There were several witnesses to this happening, and that's why I want to bring this to the court's attention. Is this has been a ongoing over a year, just serious anger issues. We went on a cabin trip in Colorado, and while I was driving 80 miles an hour at the interstate, he got mad because I said something he didn't like. He started punching me in the back of my head, and his sister was present, and my best friend who was sitting behind him.
I'm going to raise another objection also to relevance. We're talking about bond. This is a bond hearing.
Oh,
This
Miss
is not the trial
McLeod,
case.
Miss McLeod, I agree with you, but if the victim believes that the defendant is of a threat to him, and there's going to be a no contact provision, I'm going to let the victim testify and allocate what they believe is relevant. And this is relevant. But Mr. Williams, as I've already said, I'm going to require him to have no contact with you. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add? Indicating that you've had a rather toxic relationship is pretty much a done deal at this juncture. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I see someone called Anne, and I don't know who that is. Yes, ma'am. Who are you?
I am the defendant's, I'm his mother.
All right. And what's your last name?
Pageant.
All right. Miss Pageant, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Mrs. Pageant, where will Truman be living?
He'll be living at our home in
Which
Rome.
is in what city?
Rome, Georgia.
Rome. Okay. And that's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Also, the items that he said he left at Mr. Williams' home, I do believe that my husband has been able to collect all of those at this point. My husband is in Roswell, so that's not an issue. But I'd like to point out that I've been on the phone during their arguments, and Mr. Williams is not innocent in this incident at all. And this did stem from my husband going to pick my son up and trying to get his belongings, and Mr. Williams not doing it. So my husband had to call the police to ask them to come help get the belongings.
Okay.
After Mr. Williams was arrested, he went ahead with these charges.
Okay. Thank you. On Mr. Pageant, the bond is going to be set at $3,500. That's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. Mr. Pageant, you are to have no contact with Caden Williams, which means that you have to stay 200 yards away from him and not communicate with him in any way, form, or manner. You are to not return to 125 Waverly Hall in Atlanta, Georgia. From what I understand, all your belongings have already been retrieved by your father, So you are not allowed to return to that property at all. You're not to consume any illegal drugs. You're not to consume any alcohol, and you're not to possess or own any firearms. If you are living with Mrs. Pageant and if you're living with your parents in Rome, Georgia, they cannot have a firearm in the same home as you. So either you go or the firearm goes. Do you understand, Mrs. Pageant?
Yes, ma'am. We don't have any firearms.
Okay. Mr. Pageant, Truman Pageant, you will report to pretrial once a month. And while you are released, you will enroll in a domestic violence intervention program within 30 days of being released. And that means that you will enroll in these classes and you will report to pretrial the date of enrollment, and then you will present them with the certificate. This is a requirement of bond and not an issue with regards to guilt or innocence. Thank you.
Your Honor, may my client report electronically, given that
Yes,
he lives in
I'll
Rome?
allow him to report either virtually, either by phone or by Zoom.
Thank
However,
you, Your Honor.
pretrial sets it up. All right, thank you. If
Thank
he
you.
gets, Mr. Pageant, if you get arrested again, or if you violate the conditions, this signature bond will be revoked and you'll have to pay for it the next time. Thank you. Mr. Williams and Mrs. Pageant, you're both free to go.
Thank you.
Mr. Walker, any updates on the Floyd
Yes,
case?
yes, 531, it looks like. On Floyd,
Yes,
it looks like 531.
he was booked into Clayton County Jail,
That is correct.
so you concede on the Riverside?
That it looks like he was booked in on 531 on these charges.
Okay. All right, Miss 31, yeah. So, Mr. Floyd, your bond on the simple battery family violence is going to be $10,000. It's going to be a signature bond through the jail. Please be aware that even though it is a signature bond through the jail, that if you get arrested again, or if there are any further altercations with the alleged victim in this case and an arrest is in place, this $10,000 signature bond through the jail will be converted to either a cash bond or a surety bond. So you are on notice right now that you have an open pending case and that any future infractions with the law can result in a conversion of your bond. Thank you.
We're still asking for the no contact and the stay away, Your Honor.
Well, under Riverside, as you know, I
I
cannot impose.
don't think Riverside speaks to bond conditions. It might speak to being released,
I've
but
read the case law enough times to know no restrictions
the
allowed. So
the
unless you
state
have something
disagrees.
to otherwise, I'll be glad to hear it.
The state disagrees with that position. I just want to put it on the record.
Noted.
Thank
Next case, please.
We have